I am so glad you are here. It is alive in my world today. I'm Liz from Magus Books in Minneapolis. Let's get started. So I had those lovely Instagram folks in, if they're ready. Oh, they are. They're only a little delayed. And, well, I didn't change the QR code. I want to warn you now. It's set for whatever we did yesterday. But let me talk to you about some of the fun stuff that's going on. What are we drinking? What are we wearing? Well, it's still black tea. I got to tell you, I got almost no sleep last night. It was my worst. I haven't slept that little since the last time I was hanging out with friends and we just stayed up until the wee hours of the morning. Ooh, one of my little rings went away. That's okay. Straight black tea and chocolate, I tell you, that's how I'm surviving the day. But what is going on? Well, this Friday, June 26th, we've got a full moon ritual here. You are welcome to join us. We encourage robes and bring a food or drink item to share. We feast after the ritual and chat. It's kind of a nice evening, in addition to a fabulous ritual that I really love. The next day, Saturday, the 27th of June, magical astrology with Adam at 3. This is his best astrology class so far, by far and away his most popular. It really is a lot of fun to watch him go through this. You don't have to have attended previous classes. These are all designed so that you can just join whenever you're ready. And it is a by donation class. So if you go to our website under our events tab and you find it, you'll see that there's some choices for you to donate a little something so that the teacher gets paid, so that the space is paid for. All of that kind of stuff is in there. And you can get a thorough description of the class there. Sunday, June 28th, we have so much going on. It's the Reiki Share, which is an all-free event. It's not even a by donation event. It's just a free event. Come in, trade Reiki with folks. If you're a Reiki first, second, or third degree of any flavor, come on in. Oh, I didn't show you the other rings. Wait, look. I've got this little lotus on today from Tracy's Treasures and this cut, like gem cut clear quartz crystal. Doesn't that look fantastic? And then I also have, I grabbed 2 of them today. I had a different one, I swear, but they're cute. And they're a nice symbol of peace. I love that about them. So anyway, back to the fabulous schedule. On Sundays, every Sunday at 3, there's story time. So we're going to grab a book or 2 from our kids section and read a story or 2. So figure like 20 minutes-ish for that. Do not feel like you have to have a kid to get into this event, okay? If you are a nice, safe human being and you would like to just do a little guided meditation, you can come in, shut your eyes, hear the story, or stand out in the hall and hear the story if you want to. It's all about creating a safe environment for kids, families, to come in and share a little fun experience from our children's fiction section. We've got some great books in right now for kids. So it's always fun. It's every Sunday at 3. Palmistry 101 with Eshu will be at 4 o'clock on Sunday, the 28th. Really good class, really in-depth palmistry exploration. Check it out. If you want an in-depth exploration of herbalism, Herbalism 1 and 3 right now are running on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. I do not recommend stepping into them. I've been yelled at my students about that. There's too much information. But we will be starting up again with Herbalism 1 this fall, so check that out. That's going to be on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., right when the store closes. It is a lot of fun, and I interviewed Mary last week, so you saw that if you're watching. 4th of July, Roger, our founder, that's his birthday. We're closed. Oh, I didn't show off the necklace either. That's another one am I wearing. I'm showing off one of our local makers, copper hand-done chain and copper wiring on the necklace. Absolutely gorgeous. Sunday, July 5th, we will have Gateway to the Gods at noon. A story time at 3, of course. Gateway to the Gods is a class where we explore one entheogenic herb. There are samples available for people to explore. We talk tech, folklore, medical. Then we take a little break because presumably by then you've drunk your sample. And then we do a guided meditation after the break just to see if you can push that very beginner dose as far as you can to see if this is an herb you respond to easily or not. It's kind of a fun class. I like that one a lot. Saturday, the 11th, The Politics of Angels. I'm going to do it so that the tall people watching on the tall view can see both sides. This is a class that is being offered this one Sunday, July 11th at 1 p.m. by Emrys Abner, our local Solomonic Pentacles author. He's got a couple books in process. I think one is scheduled to be released this fall. If you want to come, spend a little time with him, hang out, learn a little bit more about angels, political preferences, and powers of the angels. This is the class for you. Write it down because it's not recurring. You want to come in and grab this class if you can. That one is at 1. American Folk Magic by Eshu is going to be at 3. That's another really popular series. Do check that out. It's another by donation class, just like the palmistry and the astrology classes. October 8th, I need to let you know that's when Black Willow Starling will be here. Get your tickets for that concert. It's going to be a blast. They're fantastic folk musicians, and I will be pre-recording this program for next week to interview them. So very exciting for that. And I'm going to tell you once again, park in the church parking lot, St. Clement's Catholic Church. You are welcome to park there. I've spoken with the church directly, and it is from Central and Lowry, which is our busy intersection here. So a half a block or so south of us. You just want to go a half a block or so west on Lowry, and the parking lot will be on the south side. So it'll be, if you're coming from Central and Lowry, it'll be a left turn. It's a great spot to park. It's completely free. You may as well take advantage. You don't have to remember where you parked because you'll remember you parked at the church parking lot. And you're not, if the parking in front of us is full, you're not looking for something in the residential sections and kind of, it's just easier. Park there. That's where I park every day. It's the best. If you were looking for readings, and then I get to do cool stuff. I'm excited for cool stuff today. If you would like a reading from our wonderful tarot reader, Margaret, she is only here Saturdays from 3 to 6. So come and grab her while she's here if you want a reading from her. Really good reader, very experienced, very savvy. She really knows her stuff. Come check her out. Likewise, Morpheus, who does dream interpretation, is only here on Mondays from 2 to 6. So Morpheus is in. If you've gotten stumped on a dream, talk to him. He will be able to get you past the kind of the silly things that you might see on the internet that don't quite fit your zeitgeist, that don't quite, they don't make sense, especially maybe not in the context of the specific dream you had. He will help you sort it out. He's really good. Now, Eshu, who does tarot and palm readings, both, he is here 4 times a week. He's here all day today, Wednesday. He'll be here from noon to 4 on Fridays, noon to 3 on Saturdays. So he teams with Margaret that day. And he's here all day on Sunday. So noon to 6. If you are looking for yet another tarot reader, we have another marvelous tarot reader. They all pass auditions, by the way. So they have to know their stuff, be able to talk to strangers, and have some talent. And all of our readers are amazing. Ravenwolf is here twice a week. You can catch him on Tuesdays from noon to 3 or Thursdays from 3 to 6. So he'll fit all your basic schedules. And of course, probably Daryl is doing oracle readings with his very own oracle deck. He will give you a tour of the deck for free, and it's totally worth it. It's a beautiful, fascinating deck. He is here 4 times a week. He is here from noon to 2 on Mondays, 3 to 6 on Tuesdays, noon to 3 on Thursdays, and 4 to 6 on Fridays. He's a busy guy here. They're all popular. They're all good. I really recommend getting readings from as many of them as you'd like. But that brings me to cool stuff. And oh, yes, and I do have one other announcement. Our very own Roger is going to be coming out with a new book that he has co-authored with Lee Walters, local fella. You might have seen him running around. I know I have seen him of late. The Enochian Aethers, the Angelic Deception. I think that is fantastic. And I'm sorry, the Instagram folks are having a hard time. All right, just got a little notice about that. So that's coming soon. Be on the lookout for it. We'll have it in shop as soon as we can. It's going to be amazing. We got a visit this past week from a jewelry creator who has been working in and around the Twin Cities and Minnesota for decades. She's wonderful. She is a sweetheart of a woman, and yet she's smart, savvy, and she's all around just a really nice person. She lives mostly in Thailand now, but she's from Minnesota. She does come back. She's got family ties here. And we could not resist this little yellow jasper kunzite. And what was the other stone in here? Oh, yeah, aquamarine. So this is a yellow jade. Love this. She brought several other things, including some amazing pendulums. So amethyst and aventurine for this one, with the amethyst heart. This beautiful ankh with this great bead came in. A little skull action, because why not, right? And in case you want to be the superstar that you are, yes, it's a superstar one. She also dropped with us a whole array of these beautiful necklaces. So pass this through. Now, for some of you, you can carry off that beautiful hamsa. For others of you, this is not a necklace. This is a wall hanging. And I encourage either. If you feel like you want to pull off that big chunk of jewelry, you go. If you're like, no, it's just not quite me, but I like it, hang it up by your door to ward off evil. It's fantastic for that. So, oh, yeah, and I should point out, too, these two, this one and the silver one up there, because it's all backwards to me, they open. They are lockets. They open. So you can put all kinds of fun things in there. Really looking forward to seeing people play with those. We also had some things brought in by Daryl. And 2/3 of these are already gone, but these are just adorable $10 pins of dragons. Get that up there. They're not great. They're fantastic little guys. I absolutely think they're fabulous. I think you will find them adorable as well. He also brought in a number of things, but I did want to show you some of his pendulums. Not all of them, unfortunately. He's still keeping to that evil eye motif. So he's got ones with evil eye built into them for protection. He's got this fabulous dragon guy on this beautiful chain. And then I also grabbed this one just because I thought it was adorable and beautiful. And he's also got a whole series of simple necklace pendulums, $10 for these guys. Now, if you've never used a pendulum before and you're not sure what to do, I've always held the same instructions. Some people love to put the pendulum in their dominant hand and put their passive hand or receiving hand underneath. Some don't. That's a choice. It's totally up to you. But regardless of how you choose to arrange your hands, you will take the pendulum, close your eyes, and think beautiful, happy thoughts for a minute or two, and open your eyes and see what happens to it. And then close your eyes and think, nasty, no, I don't want that to happen. That would be bad. That would not be fun at all. And you see how it moves and how it changes. And then you can ask it a question like, are you the pendulum for me? Yeah, maybe. But there's 5 of these, different stones for each one. They definitely feel like stones, but I do not promise that they're not treated or dyed or something like that. In this case, they're $10 pendulums. I think that's, to be expected to a degree. We got in a few new tiles from our fabulous artist, Megan. Some are stamped, some are carved, but this is a new design from her, so I definitely wanted to show you this one today. And then, of course, we have a new comic book. I think I showed it off last week, but I brought it in to show again. This is Liber Lepus. This is a local zine on chaos magic. Great group. Definitely highly recommend. They're $15 each, but it's so expensive to make this kind of publication these days. It's actually a good price, so hopefully all you chaos magicians will find it and love it. That is what I have for what's happening and what's going on. Now, I did have a guest scheduled, and I did email with them today, but I have not seen them. So it's you and I right now. If you've got any content, if you've got any questions, comments, by all means, let me get those up. AI viewers stream boo. Okay. Meh. So hopefully we'll see them now that I just heard Liz come in. There are two of us. Yes, it's true. I just saw Liz come in, so maybe they will come in on our coattails. I don't know. But in the meantime, I thought we should talk about finding a path that works for you, because we have all these classes. We have classes on folk magic. We've got a full moon ritual coming up. We've got a fellow coming in to talk about the politics of angels. It's Emrys Abner. How do you know which one is the one for you? Becomes the question. I'm going to tell you to go play. Visit everybody. And the path matters, but so do the people you spend your time with. You've got to get along with those people. This is very much like picking a career in some ways. You really, really like architecture, but when you meet architects, you go, I don't want to spend the next, 5 or 10 years at least hanging out with these people. These are not my people. How do I make use of my talents and still find a place I actually want to spend my day, I actually want to spend my time? That's why I say go play. Buy a few books. If you're interested, if you feel a pull to something, and please, please, please don't think that because you're not of Norse descent, you're not like descended from a Scandinavian country, I'm not, that means you can't study Norse mythology. You absolutely can. I would keep in mind too that those peoples historically, when the era we're talking about studying the mythology from, these were great explorers and merchants. They traveled everywhere. They had to treat people well or they wouldn't get good deals. They were obligated to be anti-racist in certain ways. So embrace any tradition that calls to you. If you suddenly your mind is suddenly filled, maybe you saw, you played a game online or you saw something online that just really introduced you to Caradwen, and you're suddenly fascinated with Caradwen, but there's not a drop of Irish blood in you, it doesn't matter. Her call takes precedence over anybody's preference about where you should or should not be. Go play and explore. Does that mean you're going to get along with everybody in that path? No, you're going to absolutely hit some people who you don't want to hang out with. But can you find people in that path you do want to hang out with? If you happen upon those people, stick with it. You may as well. And maybe you don't want to hang out with anybody, but you're fascinated by these deities. Explore on your own. There are plenty of resources out there that are not humans that can get you started on any of these paths. And it can take you to fascinating places. We've got a wonderful author who actually was interviewed here probably like a year and a half ago, at least a year and a half ago, who lives up in Duluth, who does Celtic mythology incredibly well. He's gone to the trouble of learning Irish Gaelic. He's gone to the trouble of really diving in depth and, in fact, coming up with a book in which he puts both English and Irish Gaelic side by side so that you can start to make those comparisons too and maybe get curious about learning the language. Keeping it alive would be a good thing, right? So read, watch your YouTube videos, and if you are so inclined, hang out with some folks. Hang out with a lot of different folks. Here in the Twin Cities, as well as many other places around the country, there is an event that'll be coming up called Pagan Pride. Pagan Pride is a wonderful, usually one-day event, usually held outdoors. To invite the press to join is actually one of the founding reasons for this. And it's a great place to meet groups who are offering spaces to study with them or to join their circles. Some will have circles just for people who would like to join, and they'll have separate circles for people who have already joined. Some won't. They'll just have one circle, and you're going to show up or you're not going to show up. That's how it is. Some it's a ritual with lots of language and words and blah 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 blah, which could take 25 minutes or could take 2 hours. Really depends on the group. Other groups don't do any of that. It's a drumming circle. You're going to drum or you're going to dance or you're going to do both. But it's an ecstatic ritual, not a scripted ritual or even an extemporaneous, like off the cuff ritual. Got to down that tea. And that makes a difference too. Maybe you want to go to the local drum circle that's run by, well, there used to be one in the Twin Cities here run by Spider Women that was really good. Or now there's one that's run by a nice group that's Universal Dances based. It's about music and dancing and singing. That's what it's about. That's what you're there to do. So you don't think you have to worship in a specific way just because a book tells you so or one particular person tells you so. That's how they recommend doing it. It doesn't mean that it will work best for you. There are plenty of people here who have really embraced one kind or another of Christianity and that has brought them to ceremonial magic because there's such crossover because it comes from those older cultures from Europe where Christianity was just part of everyone's conception of how the world worked. Now, they were not like us today. They had their own ideas, but it's now baked into ceremonial magic, depending on the kind you choose. Maybe you want to throw everything out the window and you want to go for chaos magic. No rules. Read Carol's books. They're fabulous. And there's a few others that are also very good too. Liber Chaos is nice. There's several on our shelves that are definitely worth a look. And if it's part of your heritage, genetically or culturally, then, and that helps you, that's great. But I would also recommend then embracing the people for whom it's not part of their heritage, culturally or genetically. And the reason I emphasize that is you may have been adopted, in which case, what takes precedence to you? If that's the direction you want to go, is it your genetics or is it the family that raised you of having particular cultural ties to a particular place outside of the United States? Embrace it. Go for it, whichever direction pulls you. The best thing about going where these things pull you is that you might get ideas that you would never have thought of had you stayed in one place. That is the beauty of exchanging ideas with other cultures, other times historically, and other perspectives, other religions. There is nothing wrong with taking 2 years to go on a thorough exploration of what's available around you, only to wind up where you started because it turns out that fits you best. I've known folks who've done that. It's been really fruitful for them. It's been really fruitful for the communities they touched on their exploration because those groups were then introduced to the ideas that that person's personal culture and family culture were centered on. It's by that exchange of ideas that we all grow, that we all deepen our own understanding of our own spiritual paths and how we want to see them exercised and expressed in a religion. I ran about this a lot when I have a guest that doesn't show up, don't I? But that's okay. It's an important issue. And if you are doing the exploration work, or maybe coming back to something you did 10 years ago that you dropped because you were distracted because you got a partner and you got kids, and one of you got a career and then the other one got a career, and that's a lot of stuff to do. You might not have time to fit what used to fit into your life. And that means two things usually. One of two things usually happens for those folks. They either completely drop it because they just don't see how to fit in what they were doing before into their life today, and they come back when their kids are old enough to be left home alone on a Friday night or on a Saturday night, but not so old that they might get in trouble with that. So you see them coming back usually when there's a kid who's a tween to an early teen. The other option is that they embrace it and bring it into the lifestyle they have now, which means they might become solo or family-only practitioners as they introduce some of these concepts to their kids through like our story time and other things, because they're not going to be able to they're not going to be willing to prioritize coming to that one ritual on that one night because they want to put their kids to bed. They want to give their kids a bath, read them a story, sing them a song, give them a hug and a kiss, and put them to bed. That's more important than that ritual. And I agree with them. It is more important than that ritual. Do that work, do that thing. If this other stuff doesn't fit into your life right now, come back to it when you're ready. And it also means if you took a break for some other reason, you can still come back. It's not damaging. It's not harmful. It's life. So find yourself a space where you can express your spirituality, how you feel about your relationship to family, friends, neighborhood, country, the world around you, the universe, any higher powers that you believe in, or other powers, that you believe in, and fit it in when it makes sense for you. If you believe that your gods are loving gods, then they already know and they already understand, don't they? Well, guys, I'm going to make it a short one today because I'm actually a little worried about my guests. Do check out those classes under the events tab on our website. If you are interested in the fabulous Emrys Abner's wonderful class that's coming up on the politics of angels, sign up for that and come check out all the fabulous new stuff we've just gotten in. Last week I showed off the inks and powders that are back. We have actually run out of railroad spikes again. So this is your warning issue. We need more stuff. Van oil is back in stock. Florida water, we got it back in stock, but we're running low. It's a thing. And I've been asked a lot recently about rue, so I should let you guys know. We periodically get it in, but I swear to you, it goes in days. I get a pound and it's just gone out the door. And I'm not always able to get it. When the harvest runs out, it runs out. If it runs out before the next one comes in, we're all a little bit stuck. But I was pointing out to someone that there are, well, not the classic rue just running around wild throughout Minnesota. There are things like mountain rue, so logical substitutes that you can genuinely find growing here if you're willing to take a little time to look. If that's your job, go for it. It's actually a good idea. But the magic of rue lies in its extreme bitterness. It lies in its strength and, frankly, its bossiness. So alternatives could include things like asafoetida. Alternatives could include things like, oh gosh, dragon's blood. Not that I have dragon's blood at the moment, but I do have dragon's blood ink, I'm happy to say. Anything with that very strong gentian would be a really good example of something that's, wow, powerful. We talked about it in Herby Thursday. I think it was just last week or the week before, where I said it is hot, because it's incredibly strong and very bossy. And when you're using rue, that's partly what you're looking for. You're looking for bossy herbs that will let everyone know that you're in charge. It's going to go the way you want it to go, and that's how it's supposed to happen, and that's how it will happen. There's not an option. That's what a herb like rue is really about. It's about breaking barriers down. It's about claiming your space. And these other herbs do similar magics. They're all unique. They're all a little different, but they will do something very, very similar. So if you are stumped for an herbal substitute, come on in while I'm here. I'm always happy to talk about it. Sometimes Eshu might be willing to talk about it as well, but I'm always happy. I'm here Sunday through Thursday. So check that out and tune in next week when I'll be talking to the members of Black Willow Starling about their history, their music, their fabulous new life together, because they did just make a little emotional shift to their relationship, I'm happy to say, and that concert that's coming up on October 8th. So tune in for that. We have, just because of their schedule, I have to record it on Sunday, so I won't be here this time next week. I will be just airing something that I've pre-recorded, just like I do on Fridays and Saturdays. Why? Because I'm not here 7 days a week. So yes, if you're watching the divination, the Divine Saturdays, or if you're watching the Stoned on Fridays, because how was I going to resist that, right? Where we talk about crystals and stones. Those are always pre-recorded. Always, always, always. So if you find I'm not commenting back live, that's why. The others I tend to do live most of the time, occasionally pre-recorded because I leave town. I have the audacity to take a little vacation, I know. But those are going to be Energy Sunday. Might talk about Reiki, probably talk about Reiki, might talk about polarity therapy or other energetics. Meditation Monday, really just your 5 minutes of Zen. Magical Tuesday. So we talked about a spell based out of a book by, I can see the name. I can't think how to pronounce it though. Cyanova, I think is what I've said. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. It's about just practical sort of kitchen type magic. It involved like Post-it notes and writing things on them. It was a fantastic little spell. I think I added a couple of things because when I do these 5-minute ones on the other days of the week that are not Wednesdays, I really do just go, I find a book for inspiration. I have a flip. I go, oh, yeah, I can talk about that for 5 minutes. I close the book and I come in here. Sometimes I show you the book, except on Herby Thursdays. Then I actually just refer to my own notes because I have extensive writings about herbalism. It's magic, it's medicine, all of those things. So, and right now I'm just going through the alphabet with those herbs. And this last week was G. So this coming Thursday, tomorrow, will be the next letter in the alphabet. We'll see which one I pick. I have no idea. Maybe hops. I don't know. Anyway, have an amazing week. Know that everyone here at Magus Books loves that you are an amazing, magical human being. And we love the amazing, magical things you do. And of course, we appreciate the little magical things you can do right here in social media land. I know you know what they are. Go ahead and click that little button. You can do it. And in the meantime, have yourself a wonderful week. And blessed be.